Sunshine Wild Pack, it's Bernadette, and I'm here with your Pick a Card Daily Tarot reading for Thursday, June 17th, 2021. Yes, I am in my most resplendent farm wear, my overalls, because when today's card showed up for everybody, I was like, that's it. It's the chakra, it's the heart chakra day. I went and I put on my green shirt, and, because that's the color of that chakra, so somebody once said. And I sat for a minute and I thought, okay, what do you have to tell us today? And that is the cow, the Empress card. And when this card just came flippity flipping out of the deck, it man, there are some crazy things going on today energetically. And I know I've been saying that all week, but it's true. And so let me just get through my housekeeping. If you like the content that I produce here, the free content, hopefully you would be kind enough to share it across all your social channels. Help me spread the word. Help get people in deeper relationship with your spirit, totem, and power animal guides. Bring them closer to the archetypes of the tarot. And maybe, pick up a few spiritual tips along the way. You just never know what metaphysicians are out there and need this kind of information. Also, please subscribe to my channel. Be sure to like this video, hit the ringy dingy bell little thingy, and make sure that you get all of the notifications. And also get on over to my forums, wildpackwisdom.com/forums. It's where I hang out and we talk all things metaphysical and spiritual and just stuff. So when the Empress appeared, and today is a heart chakra day, and then the messages started downloading. All I can say is it's rained all week here. I'm a triple water sign. I've been like this all week. Did some powerful lives. And I know I'm staring off like that, that toddler just staring into nothing, but that's because there's such a pure, just a pure pipeline of electricity and energy and messages flowing, because you all know me. I for those of you that are new, strap in for the ride. For those of you that have been with me a long time, you know that I spent a long time as a comic on the road and in the entertainment business. And so for me, one of the more comfortable places for me is to be making jokes and cracking jokes. And that's a lot how spirit talks to me. And today is funny, but it's more funny, if that makes sense. And here's what that means. The bottom line is you're being asked to tend the garden of your heart. As cheesy as that may sound, it is all about the garden of your heart today, and here's why. When Empress shows up in a reading, and this reading might go a little bit longer than most, but when we take a look at the traditional tarot card meanings of the Empress, what we see, and my deck, the Arcana Tarot and Oracle deck that I read from, is based on the Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot. All of its symbolism, all of its meanings, all of the tradition of that, and it also brings in the power and the wisdom and the medicine of the animal spirit guides. More accurate readings, deeper readings, you'd be very hard-pressed to find with any deck out there. It's no joke. And here's why. Because it's natural. My deck, well, it's everybody's deck at this point, it speaks to the most natural part of you. And so does the Empress. And when I say that, hear me out for a second, because very little time will be spent on the cow portion today. It's all about the tarot card meanings of the Empress. And notice that the Empress is the number 3. She's the 3rd card in the Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot. So that automatically gives her the power and the energy of the divine triad: Father, Son, Holy Ghost, Maiden, Mother, Crone, and on and on and on and on. And those that really study just really all kinds of symbolism from different religions and faiths and belief things, down to sacred geometry, sacred numerology. The language of the universe is supposedly 369 and everything in threes. Okay, so all of that said, she brings that energy with her, and you really can think of her in terms of being You know, her ruling planet is Venus. And so a more perfect day or a more perfect chakra day than the heart chakra day on a Thursday. And here she is. It's all about love. And one of her crystals that you can really work with the Empress Tarot card is green jade and emerald. Everything green because it's about lush landscape and fertility and abundance from whatever you've planted, which is why I was like, I just needed to go get my digs on, that I go digging in the yard. And, you know, a lot of times when I'm tromping out in the woods, I got my boots on because, snakes, Florida. And, and, I have to be honest, I'm most comfortable in this kind of attire. It's kind of how I run around my house. So, I own an obscene amount of overalls. I've been fascinated with them since I was a kid. They're like my adult uni. So it is about the abundance. It is about the lush fertility. It's about the divine triad, but specifically in your own heart. What that means is this: Mother Gaia is so busy taking care of everyone else, of holding everybody else in her fertile womb. Sometimes she can forget that she's also the feminine divine, or same principle as the goddess Isis, Demeter, and Freyja. Okay. Who we tend to think of less like Aunt B from from the Andy Griffith show, or any great grandma that you've ever, like Mrs. Doubtfire, or whoever the popular grandmas are these days. And we tend to not remember that she is a warrior like Freyja, like Isis, like Demeter. They're no joke. Now, where the High Priestess symbolizes like the most pure or virgin state of the collective or cosmic subconsciousness, the Empress Tarot represents the unlimited productivity and creativity that can happen once the subconscious has been impregnated by the self-conscious or the consciousness. And it could even said that it goes vice versa, because we hold so many secrets and mysteries and answers in our subconscious that our conscious mind, we don't recognize it, we don't see it, we don't even try to access it. But that the Empress Tarot, when you're looking at the traditional tarot card meanings of the Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot, even though you're seeing a cow as the Empress Tarot card on your screen, because that's from my deck, it is about all of these things. It is, well, Rachel Pollack, right? Ugh. If you guys are studying Wildpack, if you're studying tarot and you haven't heard of Rachel Pollack is like the godmother of tarot. I don't know. Rachel Pollack could say I don't even know what to me, and I'd probably believe it. But Rachel Pollack says that the Empress Tarot is the giver and ruler of the laws of life, which means that she can write or rewrite the rules any way she sees fit, because she's the sacred mother. She's Mother Gaia. She's Mother Earth. If she decides that it's time to have a hurricane, okay, it may not even be hurricane season, but she can send it. It may seem like, well, and this is, listen, I'm not discussing global warming. Please don't start a thread about global warming here on my channel. Though I would love to join in on that. And don't do it. It's hotter in places than it ever has been before. It's colder in some places than it ever has been before. And, there are all of those many, many reasons for that we do know, many that we don't know, many that we believe that are not true, and, so on and so forth. But at the end of the day, Mother Nature is in control. She is in control. And so that is part of what is being called for you today, is to tend that garden of your heart and let the landscape around it, let the change, like allow the changes that need to go on, the healing that needs to go on. If you need to sit in your heart space and experience a storm, okay. If you need to come from your heart space and be the storm, okay. If there is a love of some kind that you're really just having some fracture there, or some pain or whatever it is in your heart, okay, you know what, if you've got, let's say that you plant some seedlings of some kind, or even some new sprouts, or, even something a little more mature. You can't just walk away and leave it. You got to tend it somehow. You've got to nurture that baby. You've got to nurture that crop. And your heart today is no different, except for today you're bringing the power of the Empress to that, right? And so the unlimited divine beauty and abundance, especially in nature, um, and when you think about civilization at large, like the world at large, you can even maybe bring some grain into your field, because grain, rice, that kind of thing, it's the most shared crops. They're the most grown crops, that nature of thing. And so also when you take a look at her, and you see that she's just surrounded by this beautiful yellow sky, and that is all about, look at that golden glow around her stars on her crown. She's holding up her golden scepter. It's just this expression of joy and warmth, and it is physical and it is emotional, but it's also deeply spiritual. Again, why the sky is yellow. Now, the scepter that she's holding is tipped by a solar orb, if you take a good look at it, and that identifies the power of the divine. And what that means is, whatever heart-centered thing you're considering for today, or you want to work with that energy of, it's divine. It's divine. And y'all, this could be as seemingly simple as, you know what? Today I'm going to treat myself, and I'm going to go get a pedicure, a manicure. I'm going to go out in my garden. I'm going to read a book. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to go volunteer somewhere. Whatever this creating thing is that you want to do, it is about the creation. And as simple as it might seem to be, I promise you, bigger things are going to grow from this, as long as it is planted in your heart, as long as you are tending the garden of your heart. Now, having said that, I say that a lot, having said that, when it comes to writing and rewriting laws, because, the Empress Tarot card can do that, the Empress can, as an archetype, can do that. Arthur E. Waite, again, Rider-Waite Smith Tarot, he called the Empress Tarot card Refugium Peccatorum, the refuge of sinners. And that's a Roman Catholic term for the Virgin Mary. And basically what that means is the Empress, though not virginal in the traditional sense, like the High Priestess, really represents the most maternal or healing aspects of the feminine divine, the sacred feminine, womanhood, and definitely motherhood. Now, it can be argued, who else but a mother loves unconditionally? Now, that's not taking anything away from men, or who, if you identify as a man or you're more tapped into your masculine energy. It just means that for this card, for this archetype in the Rider-Waite Smith tarot system, that's what this card means. And for this today, it's important to stay in those traditional tarot card meanings, in particular in the seat of your heart. Now, to be sure, a mother will do whatever's best that she can figure out to do, whatever she can do to cultivate the very, very best in her flock. That's why I don't freak out when people call me Mama Bear. It's actually, to me, it's such a badge of honor. It's such a rite of passage, because my mom, ever since my sister and I were kids, she always called herself Mama Bear, and we were her two cubs. Now, she meant it. I mean, she meant it, y'all. And it's such a great honor for me to be able to serve you all in any way that I can, because that means that you trust, and you find the information that's fed through me to you to be of value of some kind. And I say that because, when people are called moms, or there's that, sometimes to some women, that's not all that sexy. They're like, they feel like, and I only know this because, of course, I have friends who are moms, and I've done so many readings through my time. I can't tell you the women that have come to me and been like, I became a mom, and all of a sudden I I wasn't hot. I wasn't sexy. I wasn't desirable. I was just a mom. And I'm like, just a mom? Is there anything more, I don't know, to be revered in the world? Obviously the same with fatherhood. Anyway, where I'm going with all of this is you are, on this day of all days, you are being called to step into your motherhood, whatever that means. Now, that could mean an actual pregnancy of an actual human baby. And that's true. It can. Many are the times in readings that the Empress card will come flipping out, and I'll look at a client and go, are you pregnant or trying to get pregnant? Yep. And so it's an invitation about that kind of pregnancy, but it also could be an invitation to a new business, a school project, inventing something, especially because, I really, really think that invention goes quite a bit with the Empress card, because you are planting a new seed, a new idea, and you're cultivating it and letting it grow into the very biggest and best it can be. Now, I'm not a fan of hybridizing animals. And in some ways, I have to say, I don't know that I'm so much of a fan of hybridizing plants and trees and shrubs, that kind of thing. It tends to be a little bit different in my book, but maybe it's not overall. And I just think of, maybe you come up with the next great hybrid car that is way better for the environment. Maybe you come up with the next hybrid way to dispose of plastics. Maybe you come up with the next hybrid way of being able to help people with PTSD move more quickly through their healing, or to a place of complete healing. It could be just about anything, but I really, you've heard the mother of invention, right? I see that as the Empress card. And so when we just take a look a little more at this now, when just in terms of symbolic meaning, when the Empress comes upright in a tarot reading, her associations with the goddess of love and pleasure, romance, that's physical pleasure, that's emotional pleasure. It's, this is, it's all this and more. It also can represent, meaning the Empress Tarot card really is an expression of energy. It's kind of like, it's like that moment that your heart skips a beat when something special happens, or someone special comes into your life, or they say yes, or you get the green light to go ahead with whatever you're doing. Again, this is so heart-centered today, right? And so the Empress Tarot card really, it is a prosperity card, and that is about financial wealth. It absolutely can be. You okay, but it's also the ability to enjoy that wealth, because, listen, what good is a gajillion-dollar job or having a gajillion dollars if you're not happy, if you're not in your truly in the garden of your heart? What if it's just overgrown, or it's dying off from lack of attention and lack of love? That's no good, right? Okay. So it's the Empress is just a call for you to know at the deepest core of you that you truly can have the life you want, whatever you want. You just have to invent it. And I don't remember when it was. It was the other day. I don't remember. But, oh, I remember, it was the opossum. And it was about that the opossum, when it gets fearful and it gets stressed out, it can't even control it. It's an autonomic response. That thing just goes out like a light, and then it's sawing logs, it's snoring. And it has absolutely no control over it when it wakes up, even if you're standing there with a pair of gloves on going, hello, little possum, time to rise and shine, time to wake up. And that thing's not hurt. That thing's not dead. It's just crashed out because it was freaked out. But you don't want it to be in the middle of the road, or you don't want, anyway, you're trying to save a possum. Do good for animals, right? I can only tell you that because I keep in my car, although let me just say this. Have you all seen the new Ford Maverick? Finally, Ford came back out with a truck that's smaller than their Ranger, which was supposed to be smaller than an F-150, and it's not. Anyway, y'all may see me. If they get any decent colors, this is their first year out for 2020. Well, it'll be in 2022. If they come out with any decent colors in another year, I'll be taking pictures of my truck, but in my car, in my SUV, I keep all kinds of gloves and bags and water and just, it's my animal pick 'em up kit. Here's why I go into that. It's such a Mother Gaia thing to do. It's such a Mother Gaia thing to do. I just can hardly keep my eye on traffic sometimes. I'm always on scan for animals that might need some extra help, right? So as it happened one day, an opossum needed some extra help. And I pulled over and I put on my big old leather gloves. They look like I'm doing falconry or something. And hello, little possum. And I checked to see if it was breathing. It was breathing. And he just had gotten scared. And so, I picked that little thing up thinking, you are going to freak out. You're going to climb over my face. And that's it. I'm going to be in the ER. That thing never woke up. And I sat there for the longest time. And I thought, well, am I wrong? Is this thing really hit or hurt? I went back over. I'm flipping this animal over. I'm examining him, Then I took off my gloves and I put on my plastic gloves because now I'm trying to feel for broken bones and this and that. So I just thought to myself, I'm going to sit here and see how long it takes for that old boy, and it was a boy, to get up and get moving. 20 minutes. I sat in the Florida heat for 20 minutes until this opossum's autonomic system went, wake up, time to rise and shine. And when that possum came out of that sleep, I'm surprised he didn't scare himself right back into a sleep and just go on, Anyway, here's the story. Here's why I'm going into all of that. The message then was, you are in complete control. It may not seem like it, but you are. And coming from your heart space, you're in complete control. That is what the Empress Tarot card, it's one of the things it's all about. You tend your garden the way you want. You fertilize that garden the way you want. You reap the abundance that comes out of that garden, what you want, when you want, how you want. Manifest, laws of attraction, prosperity, blah, blah. Okay, all of that and more is way true as long as you are willing to step into that Empress energy. And again, this is about the traditional tarot card meanings, but there's just so much more when these cards come out for you all, or you're studying a particular card. There's just so much more to it than what words on a page or in any book, or even on my own, websites. I've got tarot card meanings on my Building Beautiful Souls. It's been out there for years, but there's just so much more to it because, there's a mystery. As much as we can think we know, and as much as we think we have proven scientifically, or, us psychics, empaths, intuitives, clairvoyants, whatever, think we know about the other side or the great teachings of the universe or whatever, there are some things that you can know that you know that you know, but you can't prove them. You just know that you know that you know them. And so in that, there's a bit of mystery surrounding it. But isn't that cool? There's like this mystery and magic surrounding people and our lives and the world and everything that goes on in it. There's a little bit of mystery there, at least, you got to believe. And that's really part of the Empress Tarot card, is that she's really just such a call that sometimes we can forget the magic and the mystery. We can forget what really has to take place for something, when you fertilized it, for something to get to create life, whether it's just a simple seed or it's us, an idea, a dream that we have. I love the Empress card. She's one of my favorite cards. There is a reason that cow wanted to be this, the sacred cow, the whole, the sustenance, that whole Mother Earth energy that cows bring, to our lives. And that's all over the world, right? But again, just sticking hardcore with the Rider-Waite-Smith tarot version of this card, there is definitely something that when you see this card come up in a reading for you or somebody else, I promise you that part of that is, yes, tend your garden, yes, plant your seeds, yes, expect abundance, yes, expect prosperity, because you're Mother Gaia, you are the Empress, you're working with that archetype, you're getting deep relationship with that archetype, okay. But don't get so focused on what's going on or what you want that you forget that life is a gift. And in as far as I can tell at this point, I just don't, okay, healing, sure, we came here to heal. But in that, at the core of it is love. in that, at the core of it, is happiness. And so whatever you think you came to this earth to do, that's cool. But I would really invite you to consider, you're just a sunflower. You're just a cucumber. You're just, you're just another, product of the garden, of Mother Gaia's garden. And when you break it down as simply as that, the little things don't seem so big or so important, do they? Don't you want to be the best and have the, don't you want to be the best cucumber you can be? Don't you want to be the biggest, brightest sunflower that you can be? Of course you do. So, I really hope all of that is helpful. I just am, the energy of the Empress card is just so strong, mostly because it's just full of so much love. I honestly think that the Sun Tarot card and the Empress Tarot cards are the most loving cards of the Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot. I really do. That's my opinion. And I'd love to hear your opinion. I love it when you all talk about, what your feelings are on the different tarot cards and their symbolism and their, their meanings and, talk. I love it. I learn something from y'all every day. And I hope that you'll get on over to my forums, which is wildpackwisdom.com/forums. And, we'll deep dive. We'll deeper diver into the Empress. But in the meantime, I'm going to go out and tend my own garden and my own yard, which is, I want to say it's predominantly why I'm wearing my overalls, but it's not. It's what the Empress card reminds me of every time. So I gotta get into my overalls and talk about her. So I really hope you found that valuable and helpful. Pick up your copy of the Arcanimal Tarot and Oracle deck, subscribe to my YouTube channel, hit the ringy dingy bell thingy so that you get all of the notifications. Get on over to wildpackwisdom.com/forums. And as always, what's the best thing to do in your life? To do good for animals, including yourself, and stay wild.